Okay, so I am back today with a juicy video. So I always felt like ever since Modern Warfare 2019 dropped that Call of Duty was like weird. Like it wasn't the same game. And I mean that in the sense of everything was different. Footsteps louder, no dead silence, doors everywhere. The audio was just so loud that you barely had to move in order to do good. It was just so many weird things that changed. And in the back end, I never knew all of this stuff was happening. Call of Duty been tracking us. Call of Duty been nudging us in this direction, nudging us in that direction. Some of the shit that they say in this video that we about to go into today is crazy. Like they basically don't even refer to us as players. They call us the model, the numbers, the data. They don't even refer to us as players, bro. Like the game is so crazy and so fucked up now, bro. All they want to do is make things how they want things to be. And it hit me. I'm sitting here listening to this shit, looking at these videos, and it's like, bro, Activision is running a simulation, and we are the game that's being played. Like, I used to think I was playing Call of Duty. No, it's like Call of Duty is fucking playing us. Shit is crazy, bro. Like, the game is playing us. The way that they implement things and the shit that they say in this video we about to watch, bro, they are playing us. This shit is like a fucking, like a psyop, like a real Black Op mission. Like, they really doing some Black Op shit. They're marketing. The truth lies. Mind fucking psychology type of games that they playing, bro. Like, man, just watch.
And now, I will present proof that skill-based hit detection is real in Call of Duty.
New players and some streamers in Call of Duty often receive targeted assistance to help them acclimate and improve their gaming experience. This assistance is part of the personalized
See, skill-based damage. I'm gonna let him finish.
player engagement strategies powered by tools like AWS Personalize. Some players receive the following: stronger aim assist to make aiming and tracking enemies easier. This helps new players feel successful in combat and maintain engagement. They also benefit from hit detection forgiveness. They get a slightly enlarged hitbox or forgiving server-side hit registration. This allows for near misses to count as hits, which can be crucial for maintaining confidence.
Bro, half of the shit that he just said in the beginning, and I'm looking at it, just reading it as it's scrolling up. Bro, I literally have experienced this. And it is not just a one-time thing, two-time thing. No, multiple times I have experienced this. And just as recent as 2 or 3 days ago, whenever I notice I'm doing hot in the game, like let's just say, for example, the other day I had like 60 kills and like 29 deaths or 28 deaths, something like that. But bro, when I was at 40 kills, I was like 40 and 10. Bro, when I tell you I died like 8 straight times before I got another kill, and most of the times in those gunfights, half the shit that they describing on this blue screen right now was happening. I ran and slid up to somebody. I slid past the motherfucker. He's looking this way, and I get shot and killed by him. When I look at the kill cam, he's facing me the whole time. That never happened. It just did not happen that way. Then if I'm sliding down the long hallway on what's that map? Stakeout 24/7. You know that main hallway. Bro, I've been shooting people down that hallway. It's a cluster of people. You see 4 or 5 different names. I don't get a hit marker on nobody. And I'm shooting into the line of people. But within 2 or 3 bullets of them shooting at me, I'm dead. This shit is a thing, bro. This is not foreign. This is definitely a thing.
Weapons assigned to new players might have reduced recoil, smoother handling, or less bullet spread. This encourages experimentation with weapons and reduces frustration. In some cases, new players might deal slightly more damage or have their damage output normalized. This levels the playing field against experienced players in early matches. Some players may take slightly less damage or regenerate health faster in specific situations, as this provides more time to learn and adapt to combat. Some game systems dynamically...
My thing is, I don't get who these systems are protecting. At this point, Call of Duty has been out damn near 30 years, bro. It's almost guaranteed that there are no new players really jumping in to play this game. So what you saying is the people that you're describing, they sound like kids. They sound like young folks, folks that have barely game experience at all. I'm 32. Half the people that are playing Call of Duty now are probably in their 30s. Half the people that started playing your game started when they were 16, 17, 15. I don't think there's many 15, 16, 17-year-olds just starting to play Call of Duty these days. If they are, it's probably like a last resort thing, or probably because everybody else is already playing it. There's not too many new players coming to this game. So this shit y'all talking about, protective brackets and all of that, first of all, it's irrelevant. Second of all, that is some ranked play shit. Why is this in public matches? Then you can't even see this shit until you go send a data request. That's the next video we're going to look at.
Adjust difficulty or match conditions in real time. This ensures that new players aren't overwhelmed in their first matches. Matchmaking might place new players on teams with stronger teammates or in less pivotal roles. This reduces pressure and allows them to focus on learning mechanics.
Bro, y'all talking about new players. What, bro? Let them get their asses cooked like until they get good like we did. That's how it go. I hate this new era of things. Not even just gaming, but things in life. Like it happens at work, it happens on the game. You could just look around and see how this happens. Like people don't want to work. They feel like what they want is too hard to obtain. So they want the criteria to obtain this to be brought down here. So that then it's on there, it's closer for them to obtain it and get it. It's nothing prestigious about this thing then that I'm trying to obtain if you bringing it down here for everybody else to be able to get it. There's always going to be levels, bro. It's supposed to be levels. Y'all trying to keep it where everybody is able to get to the same points, reach the same heights. No, it don't work like that, bro.
Now, let's take a look at the Activision pitch as they approach the launch of Warzone.
Good morning, everyone. I know you're here today to hear about how Call of Duty uses machine learning to What is consumer technology? Let me be clear. We don't build games.
Clearly.
We've got game studios to do that. Our job is to elevate those features and that content in the games and connect it to the players, finding those things that are most relevant to the player regardless of what channel they're in. That might be on one of our websites. That might be through in-game messaging. Could be in our mobile companion experience or in a voice skill. I've talked a little bit about features and connecting into players, but let's first take a glimpse at what those features might look like in our game. So here's a quick peek at Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
She great showed a preview for Modern Warfare 19. I've already seen this portion of the video, so I'm not about to watch her talk about fucking Call of. Well, not watch that commercial.
You want the gloves off? They're off.
As you can see, there's a lot to talk about in that game. A lot of features and a lot of different things that we could focus on. So how are we going to find the right feature for the right player? And
That's the shit I don't like. What do you mean, how are we going to find the right feature for the right player? That's called let the fucking players play the game and find it themselves. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all, bro? Like, y'all really be pissing me off with this shit.
How are we going to implement this machine learning approach for our players? Well, first we asked ourselves the question, what are we trying to solve for?
Exactly. That is the $1 million question. What the fuck are y'all trying to correct, bro? What are y'all trying to solve for? Who is this shit benefiting besides y'all? This shit don't help no player at all, bro.
What is our goal? What are our goals with this application? So we came up with a few.
Calm down.
First, it's to deliver the right message to the right player at the right time and the right channel. We want to make sure that our players are playing the things in the game that they love, but we're also telling them about new areas that they may not have considered.
Bro, we don't care. That's the thing. That's why you have 3 different modes for 3 different type of fucking players. Stop trying to make everybody play everything. Everybody don't want to play all that shit. God damn.
Something else that they may be interested in. We want to make sure that we're listening to
This is why you got zombies, Warzone, and multiplayer. This is why you have 3 modes. There are 3 types of players. And then there are skill levels and types of players within the 3 types. Let them niggas choose to go play other things if they want, bro. How are you gonna force me to play some shit that I don't care about?
The players. It's not good enough for us to make assumptions or go with our gut about what the players want to hear. We need to make sure we're taking their feedback seriously.
Y'all don't. That's a whole lot.
We also need to do this while maintaining cost. And then finally, a system like this can be very complex and unwieldy. So we need to make sure whatever our solution is, we have a plan to handle it. So our solution focuses on 3.
Terrible. Look at the #1 thing. Less human intervention in message assignments. I don't know what that means, but less human intervention means y'all letting AI run things, run a lot of shit. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm already not liking what this is about to entail.
3 things. 1, less human intervention. Stop letting people define rules to choose what players want to see. And I'll tell you, this was probably the hardest for most people to give up. This means we can no longer go with our gut on what we think is important. We're letting the machine choose for us.
That's why the Tatman thing is out of control. That's why so much shit don't make sense in this game. You just perfectly laid it out, Gina Hope, you dumbass. You letting the machine choose what you know in your gut is right or wrong. You letting the machine do it. The machine gonna choose the analytical high percentage approach, not the actual human eye test, human feel test, the fucking thing that you just described. The feeling in your gut when you know it's right. You gonna let the machine choose over that.
And if we're going to let the machine choose, we need to give it lots of options. We need to have a variety of messages, different layouts, and channels. I may like a lot of text. Somebody else may want to see it visually. This person over here wants a video. And then we need to make sure we're continuously learning. We don't build it and set it and forget it. We constantly look at the model and see, is there a better way? Is there something we can tune to do differently? Are there better messages that we could be choosing? And now Diego is going to actually take us through the details of what that model looks like.
It seemed like this machine learning thing, yeah, it's in Call of Duty, but it seemed like y'all trying to sell this to something else, to somebody else. And testing this shit out on us, the players, and then showing whoever is the buyer, the analytics and the numbers is what's driving y'all to keep this shit, because none of this even makes sense. You just basically said you gave up running the company to a fucking machine that you have to yourself program. That don't even make sense, bro.
Okay, so let's talk about our machine learning solution. So we're asking ourselves is, what is the best next message? This is really important, because what is the best next message that is going to lead to long-term engagement? Think that you guys might have teams that come to you and ask, okay, we need to increase engagement, we need to increase revenue, or we need to increase visibility for a specific game feature, and now you're juggling all those balls in the air, and you have like finite amount of real estate inside of the game, right? So how do you deal with all of that? And you also sometimes want to make suggestions to the user. Try this different game mode, try this weapon, buy this new item. When is the right time to approach the user and make those suggestions?
Bro, do y'all hear this? Hey, try this new weapon, buy this from the store, try this new map. Whatever happened to us doing all of that shit on our own, bro? If you make a good game, you put decent things in it, and if you market it right, this shit y'all trying to force will happen organically. Y'all are so dumb, bro.
And the game is always evolving. And a message that is talking about a specific game feature in the past might become really relevant again, because this new feature got revamped now. And now this old message needs to reprioritize. How do you go back and reprioritize things dynamically? Or maybe this other feature is broken and we need to deprioritize this really fast. How do we deal with that in real time? So for people that worked with live products, this curve is really familiar. So you have an early engagement building up, and there's a peak, and eventually there's a tail. Now, different people are going to have different shapes. Some people are going to have like a higher peak, lower peak, shorter tail, longer tail, but that's what the average curve looks like. Now, another way to look into this curve is this is your Call of Duty journey. Every part in this curve is what you were doing at a specific time. So every point in this red line is your state in your journey. So here, in the beginning, you are learning about a specific game feature. You're learning that you like this game mode. You learn that you like this other game mode even better. This is your preferred weapon, and it goes up, 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 and then you start playing less and less and less and less. Now, different people have different shapes, but those shapes might overlap. And when those shapes overlap, we have people sharing states for a moment in time. So I can look at somebody that was in your state that you are right now, but this person was 6 months ago, and see what happened to this person. Did this person increase engagement, decrease engagement? What message this person was sent? And was it good, was it bad? Now, I get all this information, and I can make a decision about what to do with you right now. And this is really powerful because everybody, very different players, are helping each other, and we're going to have like a better product because of this. Now, the way we achieve that is through reinforcement learning. This is a textbook example of how classic reinforcement learning works. So I'm going to go really fast so you guys have like some background how everything was done. So in this grid, and generally you have like a reward state, which is the 1.0 on the top. And sometimes you have like a negative reward state, which for you could be the churn state. You want to avoid this state. And in reinforcement learning, what we're doing is we're trying to find the value of those other cells. Those other cells are specific states that exist in this world. And in this specific world, we have 4 actions. You can go up, down, right, and left. And we're trying to learn what is the value of taking this action in the specific state. What is going to give you that? So when you solve the world using reinforcement learning, you get something like this. You see that going up in different states have different returns, but if I drop you anywhere in this grid, you know where to go to find a reward.
What?
Now, how does it translate to Call of Duty? States for us is user attributes. So anything about engagement, revenue, preferred items, inventory, everything comes down to build your state.
See, you heard what he just said. Your inventory, your preferred weapon, your play style, all of that builds your player profile. But again, why are they the only ones that get to see that shit? Why are you tracking me and doing all these tests on my profile as a player that I can't see? That shit is weird, bro. What is wrong with y'all? It's a game.
Every circle you see in the screen,
really
it's
pissing me
a
off,
state.
bro.
So the X's are churn states. The blues and the greens are states that I'm going to talk about it. But the arrows here are different because remember the arrows are the actions. It's how I walk from one state to the other. And messages are pretty much what we send to the user. So if I want to move a user from state 1 to state 2, I send him a message. Hey, do this in the game. Hey, try that. Hey, did you hear about this new game event?
Again, you heard what he just said. When you want the player to move from one state to the next, you basically manipulate the game, bro. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all, bro? Like, what is the point of me playing good then? If you're the one that's just gonna push me to the next state anyway, what's the point, nigga?
And by doing that, I change your state. I send it to another state. And some states are better than others. So a quick example. Let's imagine that somebody comes to you and say, hey, let's make everybody play zombies. Now, state 1, in this case, could be a state that is the user is a beginner, doesn't know much about Call of Duty, doesn't know how to find its way around the game. If we introduce this feature really early, it can lead to a low engaging state, which we see going down from S1. Now, what our model does is going to look ahead in the future and see, is there a better place that I can introduce this feature that is going to lead to a higher engagement? So in this, you can see there's a path. I need to reroute user to state 2 and state 3, and there, if I send him the same message, it's going to lead to higher engagement.
Bro, he just said I need to reroute the user and send him to state 2, 3, and 4 if he's in state 1 and he appears to want to stay there or is stuck there. Bro. So again, you are taking your fucking puppet strings and moving them and making niggas get inorganically to spots they don't belong. And the same thing can happen for the players who are up there good. You inorganically pushing them back. Bro, this shit really is making me mad. Like, y'all niggas don't understand. I really get mad at this game, bro. I don't even hate Call of Duty. I hate the company that makes it, and I hate what it has become since this shit got put in the game and since Warzone came out. That is what it is. I can't stand this shit. This shit pissed me off, literally.
Now, there's a risk. In state 2, the user can churn. You could churn from any state, actually. Now, how confident am I, the model, that I'm going to be able to avoid this state, and I'm going to make people go to state 3 in order to experience this feature? As long as I have a higher confidence, I'm going to do this rerouting. If I have a lower confidence, it's going to do something different. Now, messages are our errors here. And we do have seasonal content, and we have evergreen content. Every time somebody adds a new message in the system, what you're doing, you're creating new arrows. So if the arrow that takes you from state 1 to state 2 is a seasonal content, a seasonal message that's going to be taken down tonight, that street got closed. You cannot send users there anymore. So this changed the whole strategy. And we're able to adapt that in real time. But you can do the other way around too. I can go to somebody that generates content and says, hey, we should focus on taking people from state 1 and state 3. We should craft a message specific for that. So we can avoid the state 2 and avoid the churn state.
So again, he just said we can turn to people that make content and have them basically push the message. So again, the more it sounds like what he's saying is the more people that listen to, follow, and engage with these content creators, you can get skipped. Basically, you just heard him say the nigga was in 1. We don't want him to go to necessarily to 2. We want him to go to 3. So you skipping niggas levels yourself, not them playing and earning it. No, you're doing it. The fuck is the point of me playing the game then, bro? Like, what's the point?
You probably start to realize that our actually problem is much more complicated than the classic reinforcement learning problem, because we have so many states. We actually have hundreds of thousands of states to explore. And we were learning in that previous example the value of taking an action in a specific state. And when you have like hundreds of messages and hundreds of thousands of states, there's no way you can explore all those pairs and learn the value of each one of them. It's too much stuff to explore. And as the game evolves, we have new states getting created. So for example, if you had a new feature, a new game mode, or something different that we want to track about the user, this translates to new green cells being popped into existence. And things get way more complicated now, because now you have all those new states to be tracked. And the same thing for message, like I said before, messages are being created, deleted, removed, and edited all the time. And this changed the effectiveness of the message too. This is how, this is the very center of the graph. We cannot fit all the hundreds of thousands of states here, but this is the really beginning. The lighter the color is, the more engaged the user is with Call of Duty. The size of the circles there is how many people are in that specific state. So you can see already some patterns that some states are connected to some other states. And this is really powerful now, because I can give a heads up before somebody go to like a critical churn state 1 week before. You can run simulations to see where people are going to be 1 week from now, 1 month from now.
Bro, this is ridiculous. So you basically got a simulated thing that you can predict using my analytics that I already put into the game, that are my stats. So you can predict where I'm gonna be in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month out, statistically, or let's just say where how engaged I am. No, the fuck you can't, bitch, because I get on and off this game left and right. I ain't played this shit seriously in about a week now. And when I do jump on, I only jump on multiplayer just to get a couple camos. I'm not doing nothing crazy no more. I don't really stream this game no more or nothing. But to hear this shit, bro, is really a backhand slap in the face, bro. I'm so sick of these niggas, man. I hate Activision. I hate y'all for this shit. I cannot stand y'all, bro. Shit is crazy. Exclusive Ace got his numbers back. So again, what I was talking about was you gotta submit a request, a data request, whatever it's called, for them to go in and send you the things that we just watched in that last video. All of those numbers and paths and data, state this, state that. You gotta send a thing in for them to then send it back to you. When all of the old Call of Duty, that type of shit was just in the game. Like, look at what the fuck they are tracking, bro. Just look at Ace video.
What's up guys, my name is Ace, and it looks like finally the skill data is starting to pour in for players that have requested it from Activision. For those that aren't familiar, a couple weeks back, I shared the fact that you can request your personal data from Activision. This is a legal requirement for them to do in many regions at least. And as part of the personal data they share for you, they share every single match that you've ever played. It looks like all the way back to Modern Warfare 2019. At least for some people it went that far back. And with this data, it also includes your hidden skill rating that they don't show you in-game, and that they matchmake you based on. Now, I already went through my skill data when it comes to Black Ops 6, but that was just a single data point. Now I've had a lot of people responding with at least some of the general stats that they've been seeing with their data that they received. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit today, share some of my initial observations, keeping in mind this video is going to be far from scientific. It's more about making some general observations, maybe noticing some indications of trends that may exist. And at the end of the day, there's still one big element that's holding us back from seeing basically everything that's going on here, and that is they don't share the lobby skill data. While you do get to see your skill rating, you don't get to see the skill rating of the lobbies that you're playing in.
Again, bro. I don't remember which Call of Duty this was, but I'm gonna just say I think it was like Black Ops 2. Before every game, I would go over and check the lobby. The lobby's kill death ratio. I would see was anybody in parties. I would see was anybody max prestige. That is how I determine, like, all right, damn, I need to sweat this game, or all right, this game don't look too hard. Like I could probably coast. I could pick any loadout. When I see a stacked up lobby, like it's a full clan, they all max level, they all got the highest prestige emblem. Oh, I know I got to sweat my balls off in this one, and I'm ready for that. But bro, stop this random shit where it's just like the whole other team feels like they're always stacked, and me and my team just feels like we're always underprepared. Stop doing that, bro.
And that does have a big impact on what your skill rating will be, as we'll see as we go through this video today. Also keep in mind, a lot of this data is very messy because people are reporting different values, like some are reporting elimination death ratio, others are reporting kill death ratio. Some people are only reporting their maximum skill rating, not their average or their minimum. So this is why toward the end of the video, I am going to ask for those that are willing to share their data in a more standardized format that I can actually analyze with a bit more accuracy. But stay tuned for that. I'll share exactly what I'm looking for from you guys. If you're willing to go the extra mile, you don't have to do it, obviously. But with that out of the way, let's go through some of the immediate observations I noticed just scrolling through a bunch of people's data that they have shared. The first big thing I noticed that didn't pop up at all with my data is your skill rating can actually get into the negatives. So 0 isn't the lowest value. In fact, based on what I'm seeing, it appears a 0 skill rating may actually be right around the average.
So basically, a 0 skill rating is what used to be a 1 KD. That's basically what I'm getting from that. So 0 is 1. Above that, Now this shit makes sense why. When the fuck was this? Like 2 or 3 years ago, Jay Gott and them used to always be like, the average KD now is a 0.86 or a point. I'm like, bro, what? Anything with a 0 in front of it was negative. Like back when we all first started playing Call of Duty, if you wasn't a 1 point something, nigga, you was negative and you were terrible. It's just that simple. I've always been, after the initial wave of me starting on Call of Duty, I've always been a 1.5 to like a 1.8. And that's just raw playing. I've never tried to get higher than that. I've never just like forced myself. I want a 2 KD. No. I've always been a 1.5 to a 1.8. When Modern Warfare 2019 came out, bro, my KD dropped to like 1.15 and I could not consistently get it to go higher than that. That's when I really knew something was the fuck wrong with this game. It started on that game, bro. I noticed it from day one. Before Warzone, before all of that. I noticed it in multiplayer on Modern Warfare 19. Something was off.
If not bang on average. And unsurprisingly, most of the people that did share their data with me, they do have a positive skill rating overall. But typically, for somebody that watches a channel like mine, you're dedicated to improving yourself, and therefore, on average, you're going to see above average players watching my videos. But I did find that to be very interesting, that it can get into the negatives, and that doesn't appear to be a bug as well, based on some correlations that I was seeing. Although I have seen it reported that party game modes will show up in the negatives. I haven't really played any party game modes. I didn't have any party modes within my data set, so I can't confirm that for sure, but this is why I want to get some more information as well. The next thing I noticed is, well, I generally want to just focus on the current Call of Duty game, Black Ops 6. Many people were reporting their skill ratings from previous games as well, and it appears they use an entirely different scale depending on the Call of Duty game. Like with Modern Warfare 3 and Vanguard, on average, it seems the skill rating values get way higher than what we're seeing in Black Ops 6. And perhaps that's an indication of skill-based matchmaking being weaker or stronger depending on the game, but I don't think we can say that with any sort of confidence. They could just be using different weightings for how they determine what your skill value is, or just a different scale entirely. So we can't really draw any conclusions there, and again, from here on out, I'm just going to be focusing on the Black Ops 6 data. Another thing I've noticed,
It's kind of random, but the gun he's using in this background clip, I feel like the hand cannon used to be a regular weapon in the game, and it didn't have to be a score streak. I could be wrong, but I don't know.
is for some of the people that have shared their full grasp of their skill data, you often see a lot of roller coaster-like skill ratings, where it's just a constant cycle of ups and downs. And this seems to align with what many people have been sharing over the years that they experience while playing the game. And that is, you play really well for some games, then the next games you get into are significantly harder, so you perform way worse in those lobbies. And after you do that for a
But see, the thing with that is, though, that was always the case with Call of Duty. You always have your ups and downs. You will have your hot streaks where you doing good for 10 games straight. You cooking that night, or you cooking that week, however many days it took you to play, let's just say 10 games. Bro, that's normal. That's to be expected. Ups and down, or a good hot streak. That's coming from the players, though. The way this shit is, y'all actively fuck the game up on y'all end, in the back end. Y'all nerf niggas damage. Y'all nerf niggas hit registration. It's all this shit y'all do in the back end on top of us playing good players, bro. Like, why do y'all have to interfere? What are y'all in the mix for? Y'all already made the fucking game.
For a little while, now you're in easier lobbies and you get to perform really well again. And it's just that constant roller coaster-like effect that it seems is now mirrored by skill data, at least from some players. Again, keeping in mind, not entirely scientific, just some basic observations. And then another interesting general observation I made here is certain limited time modes like Ransack, for instance, they seem to have no impact on your skill data. Like, as you play those modes, if you play several games in a row, your skill value doesn't change from those matches at all. And this could be the reason that limited time modes can sometimes feel like they have little to no SBMM. And this
They don't. And what you just said proves it, Ace. That's probably the test ground. They sit there, they got them numbers. I guarantee they got them numbers from those lobbies. I guarantee they do. That's where they run them dumbass tests and try to say, hey, look, guys, we do need skill based. No, nigga. No.
This is something I've been experiencing with the pentathlon game mode as well. In my experience so far, it feels like there's no strong SBMM there like we would normally see in the other modes. And in general, it seems like I'm just getting a decent mix of lobbies, generally trending toward being much easier than the lobbies I experience if I play Domination, for instance. Now, that's not to say that I haven't had some tough matches here or there, but it doesn't feel like it's all being determined algorithmically. Like, I can dominate for several matches in a row, and it doesn't feel like I'm immediately kicked up to a significantly harder.
And that was how, initially in my beginner days of Call of Duty, that is how I got good. I would build on, okay, I did good this game. I was 17-10 this game. Let me try to get 20. All right, so bet I went 21-12 this game. All right, bet. Let me see next game. Can I get 25? Okay, I went 25-16 this game. I died a lot more, but I got 25 kills. That's how I got good. I don't know why y'all think doing this dumbass shit is gonna make people better, bro. They are not getting better. You are artificially giving them an illusion that it feels good. Smoke and mirrors, yeah, it feels good. But really, nothing is improving.
Lobby. Instead, it just feels random and organic. And based on what we see with the skill data in some of the modes like this, it may actually be true that there is no real SBMM taking place in those modes. Or perhaps at the very least, it doesn't affect your skill rating as you're playing, so if you're playing that mode for a long period of time, you remain at a consistent skill rating, and therefore you see a lot more consistency with your gameplay. So that wraps it up for the general observations that I made right away. Now I want to dive into one data set that I found to be particularly interesting, And this is coming from Clamps SH on Reddit. Now, the reason this data is so interesting is he admitted to two-boxing right up until two-boxing got patched. And just to be clear, I don't condone two-boxing. I don't two-box myself, never have. I just find this data to be extra interesting because since we know he was manipulating the lobbies, it actually does give us a bit of an indication of how the lobby skill rating may impact your skill rating. So when looking at his graph, you can see the exact moment two-boxing was patched. There is a massive difference here. And it's interesting. Based on what we're seeing here, it looks like his skill rating dropped off drastically the moment two-boxing was patched, likely because his performance dropped off drastically the moment that was patched. But then it really didn't take long for that to shoot right back up to the point where it's actually much higher than it was when he...
Again, so this don't make sense. You two-box get easier lobbies, and I guarantee he was frying over here. But his skill is lower. No two-boxing. He got started getting smoked. But then he, I guess, did better a little bit, and then it shot up higher than what it was over here. What does that, what is this for then? If it don't correlate to one another, if it's not one-to-one, if it doesn't, this makes this, what is the point, nigga?
He was two-boxing, and his performance was significantly better. Now, he did also admit that even after two-box was patched, he's still playing games with his low-skill account, so that will theoretically give an averaging effect, and he will still be playing in easier lobbies than what he should be playing in if he were matchmaking solo. But the fact that his skill rating is so much higher now than back when he was playing in two-box lobbies, or essentially the lowest of low-skill lobbies, that really once again seems to reinforce the fact that your lobby skill is a very important factor in what your skill rating is going to be. In fact, he shared a little more data here. He actually shared his elimination death ratio, win-loss ratio, and score per minute from when he was two-boxing to after he was two-boxing. And while his elimination death ratio was cut in half the moment two-boxing was patched, his skill rating ended up being drastically higher. And that's likely due to the fact that he's not playing against the lowest of low-skill players, and he's playing against people that are at least a little bit better. So once again, what we're seeing here is it appears your skill rating is not only based on your personal performance and how well you do, it's based on how well you do relative to the skill level of the players you're playing against. You can look like an absolute god, totally dominating bottom-of-the-barrel players, but have an insanely low skill rating, or you could potentially barely be going positive and barely keeping up, but in really high-skill lobbies, and your skill rating will end up going up because of that. And honestly, that's not too surprising at all, but it just reinforces the fact that we don't have access to all of the important data and the data that's really necessary to do like a full proper study on all of this. You really need that lobby data because it clearly has a big impact. And I think it's great we got this data from this person because while we can't see our lobby skill rating, we can see exactly what happens when you're manipulating the skill level of the lobby that you're in. And while I think it is a good thing that a skill rating in a video game or sport or anything would be based on who you're playing against and how you're performing based on how good they are, rather than just how you're performing in isolation, at the same time, this highlights the big issue that many of us have with the matchmaking system that Call of Duty's been using for many years now. And this is the fact that outside of these data requests, we only have access to the isolated data of our personal performance independent from the skill level of the lobbies we're playing in. And this is why, if you're going to be matchmaking so heavily based on a skill value, we should be able to see this skill value. Exactly. And I mean in-game, not via a personal data request that can take apparently weeks to get. And I would actually have far fewer complaints about this system if we could see where we stood in the community, if we could see our skill rating, if we could...
That's my whole thing. This shit wouldn't even be nutty if it didn't take 5-6 years now to figure this shit out. Like, nigga, why did we have to wait 6 years for y'all to put this dumbass shit out in the open? Let us know, bro. Like this, oh my.
See the skill rating of the lobby we were playing against as well. Or we can even just see, did our skill rating go up or down based on that previous match I just played? And that would at least give you an indication of what kind of lobby skill level you were playing in. Now, obviously, the thought there is, well, isn't that what ranked play is for? And yes, exactly. That's what ranked play is for. And that's, again, why I think the strict level of skill-based matchmaking that they use in Call of Duty gets so much pushback. There's a place for that, and that is ranked play. And while I think it is totally fine to have some level of skill-based matchmaking to protect the lowest of low from the highest of high-skilled players, I really still feel that they're too heavy-handed with this, considering the fact that this is casual public matches and we don't even get to see what our skill rating is. It's hidden from us, and yet it determines so heavily what our gameplay experience is going to look like. Next up, I want to talk about what I want to do in the future with this skill data, because I'd like to take a much deeper look here and maybe even narrow down a little bit how heavily each stat is weighted when it comes to your skill rating, obviously while missing out on the lobby skill data, which I'm sure is a very important factor that we will likely never get to see. But
Call of Duty, bro. Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't think I can fuck with y'all no more, bro. Like, I'm not gonna say I can't fuck with y'all. Call of Duty, Sledgehammer, whichever studio making which game. It's Activision, bro. I don't like them niggas. And I'm so happy that we now know all of this. And we know now why each Warzone is so trash when they put it with the new game is because each studio is not working together. And now I see why certain shit happened. Now I see why Infinite Warfare flopped because y'all started making that around the time Black Ops 3 was already out. Y'all started making it thinking niggas was gonna still want that. When it came out, y'all was wrong. Y'all make y'all games 2 and 3 years in advance trying to predict what we gonna want. Instead of having all these studios like making a new game, why don't y'all just compound it and just build on top of the old thing? Like, why do y'all keep restarting over from scratch every game, every studio? And then y'all try to implement Warzone with every game. Like, this is why every studio, every game used to feel different before Warzone. And it was no issue with that. We was cool with that. You niggas want to make everything one thing because of stupid ass Warzone instead of making Warzone its own thing. Call of Duty, Activision, whoever I'm addressing right now, I hate you niggas. I genuinely hate you niggas. Y'all can eat a dick.